A farm-to-table chef discusses the importance of local, seasonal cooking and eating.
You got to work seasonally and try to do as much local as possible.
Then we'll speak with a county commissioner about his family history with farming and how the industry is regulated in Central Florida.
I got involved with Farm Bureau, and the Farm Bureau works very closely with the state legislatures, also working with our federal government and then county.
But first, a local grower tells us how he's sharing the wealth of his farm with the community.
If you run a good farm, you have good fruit, you get people that come back.
We'll talk with 3 Central Floridians about agriculture and the role it plays in our region. Next on Metro Center Outlook. Hello, I'm Diane Trees. Central Florida is home to farms growing citrus, berries, and other produce. Today we'll take a closer look at agriculture's role in our region and see how the food grown in our area ends up on our plates. Scott West, the Vice President of Operations at Tom West Blueberries, joins me first to talk about how his farm is serving Central Floridians. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Your farm, talk a little bit about its history.
Well, just the family history of the farm is my grandfather was in citrus since he was a boy. And then he started his own citrus company in 1954. Got into citrus, did very well. And then with the freezes, the Florida freezes, it kind of took a lot of the citrus people out.
Now, when were the freezes? What time frames are you talking about?
83 and 89. I think a lot of people replanted after 83, and then we had another hard freeze in 89, and a lot of people didn't replant. And then Florida got very popular, and the houses started going up, the price of property started going up, so a lot of people got out and sold their property into subdivisions and things like that.
Now, if I want to buy Tom West blueberries, where would I go?
We sell to a few stores. In Orlando, we sell to Fresh Fields, Fresh Market, which they're around, and a lot of the farmers markets. Usually someone's there selling them. Or you can come right to the farm and get them there.
Now, you said your grandfather started the farming. What brought him into the blueberry realm of things? Why did he pick blueberries?
Well, citrus, even though the freezes, he wanted to replant. He did replant and did okay. And then we got something called greening, and it was very discouraging. So me and him were working close at that time, just in the little bit of citrus we had, and we're sitting in the office one day and he said, hey, go out and see what we can do to make a little bit of money. So I went out and talked to some people, and I found out they were doing blueberries and just kind of went from there and just started doing the research. And
so you have your grandfather that started it, your dad is in the industry, and you now carrying on with things.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What goes into maintaining a farm like this?
A lot of work. You have to fight the weeds and everything, and you try to do it with the least amount of chemical as possible, especially on blueberries. We're not organic, but we don't use a lot of chemicals. So there's a lot of hand pulling weeds, labor, and things like that. Strict programs on blueberries as far as the watering and the nutritionals and things that they need to grow here in Florida.
How many people work on the farm when you have, well, you're saying weeds to pull. How many people do you have?
I only have 4 guys, me and 4 guys.
That's pulling a lot of weeds.
Yes, that's pulling a lot of weeds. And they pull quite often. Nut grass, things like that. But we'd rather pull it than use a lot of chemicals around the plants for sure.
You have what's called a U-pick section like that. Talk a little bit about what that means.
Well, the U-pick is where you can come and pick your own blueberries. And it seems to be a great event for families, a lot of families, a lot of children, mothers. They come and they pick, and the kids get to pick, and they get to try out all the varieties. We have 4 different types of blueberries. They all come in about the same time. So they get to try a tart one, a real sweet one, a crunchy one, and they all have their characteristics. But the kids love it because they pick, and then they get to go home and make something that they picked with.
Do you give them some
farm.
recommendations of which berries make better muffins or
Yes.
pancakes or anything like that? And then you probably get treats out of it.
Well, yes, I do get treats. People bring all kinds of things back that they've made. It's very, very interesting, some of the things that people make. I had a peach blueberry cobbler. That's probably
sounds so good.
the favorite thing of all. So.
What about hosting visitors on the farm? How often do you have it open like that? You have obviously your U-Pick season. Do you have any other things that go on that you have people out?
Only when we have berries, unless school or somebody wants to come out just for the education on blueberries, then we'll do a tour or something like that with the kids where, like I was saying before, we show them the good bugs and the bad bugs, and we'll have a little literature on how we keep the birds away and this, and it's very interesting to the kids. They really love it.
Well, now, seasonal, how does this work? When is the season? Do you have more than one? How do I have no idea how blueberries grow.
April, May, and June is the season for blueberries here in
May
Florida.
and June. Okay.
And that's really it. The rest of the year, we're just trying to really grow to get a good crop.
What goes in, what's the biggest challenge for you to operate and own a farm nowadays?
I think just all the new things that are coming, new bugs, new diseases, and I don't think they're native to Florida. I just think that they've, through different types of practices, they end up getting here somehow. And we just have to stay on top of things. Citrus is very forgiving in what you do. Blueberries is very sensitive as far as the caretaking of them.
Now, go ahead. I'm
If
sorry.
they get into a wilt or something, they're very hard to bring out of it.
Your business is thriving, though. So how are you managing with the changes in our community, the development that's all around?
I think that's where the U-Pick comes into play. It's been very, very good as financially for the farm. Commercially is so up and down, it's hard to predict what you can get for the blueberries. And the U-Pick is usually the same. It's very dependable. If you run a good farm, you have good fruit, you get people that come back. And the good thing about a U-Pick farm is you can talk to the farmer. You can find out what's been put on these plants, or really what hasn't is what people want to know. They want to be sure that you're not using a bunch of pesticides and things like that.
Right. Scott, thank you so much for your time and your expertise today.
All right, well, thank you.
When we come back, we'll learn how one chef is incorporating locally grown food into the menu at his Winter Park restaurant. A native of Winter Park, Chef Christopher Windus now oversees the dining program at the Alfond Inn at Rollins College. Chef Windus, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about the farm-to-table concept.
Well, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, we really spent about 3 months sourcing, local ingredients, trying to, it's supposed to be this Winter Park themed restaurant. We wanted to keep it that way, find as many people that are right there around us and kind of just help the community. That's the whole goal of the restaurant, is to keep giving back, the way we give back to Rollins College, where all the profits from the inn go to the scholarship program there. So it's kind of this whole thing, and it really ties into our farm to table as well. At Hamilton's Kitchen, we keep the menus seasonal. We really try to find people that are very passionate about the ingredients, and then we like to go out and see them in their element, getting my guys out there, really looking at it. They have much greater respect for product.
So farm to table is actually getting the product on a local basis and then bringing it into the restaurant so that you can use that food.
Right. That's the goal, We keep a very, when we write menus, we have very vague menu descriptions. It's not like a 3-page paragraph of like what's in everything, because we don't want to do that. We want to be able to tweak dishes here and there. We want to know things that are going to be available for that season, that we're always going to be able to get. And then when we have, I have guys that, show up at the back door and they're like, this is what we have. Well, I want to be able to take those things. I don't want to turn them away. They have something beautiful, and you want to bring that in and be able to offer it to your guests. So if it means tweaking a dish for the night or adding it, but it's also good, somebody comes in and they'll have it one night, and maybe the next time they come it's a little bit different because we've taken things that were available, we used them. We go to the farmer's market every Saturday. We're down there buying stuff and talking to the guys and seeing what they have coming. I'm always like, oh, so, one guy that had great persimmons like a month ago, like, you need to save these for me. Whatever you do, I want these. And, just having those relationships with people, that's kind of what it's about.
How did you come, though, to embrace this philosophy? Because it is a little different.
Yeah, I did a lot of traveling. I did, going all over the country, all the world, and cooking in different places and seeing everything, that's coming from those regions and how the chefs used them, and you always bring something back. So we might be, okay, we're in Florida, which is kind of the South. It's kind of, so we want to use some, some regional cooking, but, the way that I see people in like certain areas of the world, that's all they have, and that's what they have to work with, and the things they do with them, that's kind of inspires you. So, we might take some techniques and some seasonings or flavor profiles or something like that and apply it to the things that we have here. So that's kind of the philosophy that I have about it. You want, if this is what you have, say you couldn't get tomatoes year round, you can't make a tomato salad in the middle of December, so, but you have really hearty greens and you have something else, and, what are you gonna do to that to make it special? You take something that's, a turnip or something that a lot of people don't like, but the way you prepare it, and it turns into something that's great. It's, you gotta really, I think the knowledge that we've amassed over time, the different, like I said, the different techniques, spices, braising, poaching, smoking, applying these different things, and you can really change the way people look at a beet. I hate beet. Somebody's like, I hate beets, I'm never gonna eat it. Well, try it this way, because we reduce the juice, and then we cook it in the juice, and we glaze them, and then maybe we'll smoke some of them, and you have different textures and flavor profiles all within one dish.
So it sounds like the seasonal is not limiting, as I thought it would be. We're used to ordering everything we want,
right.
But it sounds from what you're saying, you can...
Well, you can order basically whatever you want, but you're not going to get, tomatoes right now. You're going to get them from like Brazil or Peru or something like that. You're not going to get them here fresh looking unless you go with like a hydroponic product or something like that. There's, you just gotta, right now the way the world is, I can call California and have it overnighted to us, and yes, it's available 24/7, but that's not what seasonal cooking is about. It's kind of, in my opinion, you gotta work seasonally and try to do as much local as possible.
What is the benefit of eating locally grown food?
You're just giving back to your community. You got these farmers that, they're not out there making a ton of money. Most of them are very small operations, and they're family farms, and, if they're not selling product, they feel it, and they have bad weather, they have, prices of the grain go up, and they gotta, if they're feeding their pigs, barley, and barley goes way up, they feel it. So, and, I'm not going to buy something that's local that's not good. If somebody doesn't have a product that's not good, then you can't start off with a bad product. But 9 times out of 10, these people are really, focused on their product because they know this is their livelihood. If they're doing honey or, they're doing, even just greens or whatever they're growing, they know that, you know, they wouldn't be doing this if they didn't know what they're doing.
Right, so you might get a better product.
Yeah.
What about for you, though? What's the next step for Hamilton's Kitchen, for your restaurant?
You know, we're still in the, you know, beginning phase of this. I think today's the 18th. It's our 4 months. We've been open for 4 months now. We're really pushing. You know, we've gotten past that. You know, anything opens in Winter Park gets super busy. You're just getting, you know, slammed all day. So now it's starting to even out, balance out. We have some time to, you know, redevelop the menu. We've changed breakfast. We've changed this. I just want to see it keep moving forward. You know, expanding the menu some more. We've, you know, started adding little more events here and there. We host a lot because we also at the inn we have a whole banquet facility, so we're doing holiday
it's
parties.
It's a lovely place, yes, I've
oh,
seen
yeah.
that, yes.
So,
thank you so very much for being here. We
Yeah,
look
thank
forward
you.
to coming to the inn again. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
After the break, we'll learn how the state is supporting Florida's agricultural industry. Orange County Commissioner Scott Boyd is a Florida native and an advocate for farming in Central Florida. Commissioner Boyd, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Your family arrived here in the 1880s. Tell us a little bit about your family history with agriculture.
Well, like you said, in the 1880s, they moved to Central Florida, mostly to get away from the cold like a lot of other people. They settled on the southern shore of Lake Apopka in the Oakland area and began a farming operation there with vegetables primarily. And then over the course of 6 generations, where I was in the business, moved into the citrus industry as well as then moved to South Florida. So a lot of deep roots and a lot of heritage here with a lot of the other farming families.
Were they farmers before they came into the state?
Yeah, they were, but primarily where the farming really kind of became an important piece of the family heritage here is when they moved here and started, you know, farming the vegetables.
So, and you were saying South Florida, is it Central Florida? Is this the area that they settled in stayed?
Yes, Central Florida, yeah, Oakland, Winter Garden area, just on the western side of Orange County.
How do you think Florida's green space is for farming with our population growth and the density that we have now?
Well, as far as agriculture goes, there are a lot of impacts that can create issues for them, especially for those in the industry. You know, you've got weather, disease, and then you have the economic growth and development, especially for this region becoming so populated. For the most part, a lot of the growers stick it out. You know, the freezes moved most of them south to kind of the southern area of the state. And the disease is another issue, but for the most part, like I think I was discussing with you before the show started, we were talking about a blueberry farm operation that's located in a very urban community. The family has been involved in citrus for quite some time, and then they moved into the blueberry operation, and now they're doing U-pick, and so it can be very compatible.
There are so many factors to being successful, not always under control with having an agricultural industry around with that.
Yeah.
You must see a lot of things with the family history you've had to face over the time periods.
Yeah, it's, you know, over the years, I think one of the big things was the freezes when I was growing up in the 80s. I saw the freezes in the early 80s and then the late 80s, 89, which was really a killer for the citrus industry, which moved most of the folks south at that point, or they didn't get back into the citrus industry again, and then which led into more regional planning, which in my district that I represent for Southwest Orange is called Horizon West, and it was the state's first sector plan, and 6 villages that tie in with that. So most of the citrus industry that was there is gone, but there are a few growers that are still left that are very involved. And still there. My family actually is still there in Lake County and both down in Collier and Hendry County as well.
Do you think as a state we do enough to support and promote the farming industry?
Yeah, I think so. You know, when I graduated from college and got into the industry itself and working with the family, you know, I got involved with Farm Bureau, and the Farm Bureau works very closely with the state legislatures, also working with our federal government, and then county. county government was another area that can impact us when it comes to permitting and various things like that. On the state level, support of disease control and providing funding for state colleges and research and that sort of thing are extremely important, and on the federal level as well. You know, in Orange County, coming from the ag industry, my focus has been in utilizing what we have in West Orange County. It's called Reclaim. It's Water Conserve 2 program that the City of Orlando and Orange County have for our utilities, and it's reuse water that has been treated, but because it is all mostly shipped out to the west side of the county, back in the, after the kind of in the 80s, late 80s, that time frame, they started utilizing that for irrigation. And so now that with a lot of some of the citrus has moved out of the state, not out of the state, but down in South Florida, out of the Central Florida area, they use that for the irrigation and trying to use some of that reclaimed water for other agriculture crops too.
Do you think that we will have enough clean, quality water moving forward to really sustain the agricultural industry? I know we have a lot of problems with water.
Yeah, the public sector is a big user of water. Agriculture uses, while it uses a lot in irrigation, it's a small part of the overall scope, and I think where we really need to focus on the public sector is the use of water, like in our yards. You know, that's really kind of where it boils down to. Agriculture takes not only from the aquifer, but also can take from waterways and lakes, and that, you know, utilize some of those resources too. But when it comes to pumping out of the aquifer, really our public sector is a big user of that, and so you're seeing changes in how we're, you know, handling that issue. We've got a study that's going on with the University of Florida as well as the St. John's River Water Management District and South Florida Water Management District, and Orange County is the center of that study, and what we're looking at is how through education and different types of devices that are used in yards and cutting that water use down, because most of the water is that goes in our yards, about 50+% of what we use in our households.
Right, so the reclaimed is really an important part of that. You are an agriculture insider, so what's one thing that people don't know about farming in Central Florida?
Well, like any industry, it's challenging, but one of the things that we are seeing is there is some discussion about olive growers wanting to move into the area, something that we haven't seen, and it's a kind of a new commodity that would be great to have here, especially in Orange County and Central Florida. One of the discussions we had at the Board of County Commissioners was back on the topic of Conserve 2, was utilizing some of those resources in order to help promote agriculture to come back into our region, and providing a low-cost water supply that they would be able to utilize. Conserve 2 is not allowed to be utilized on fruit crops that you would eat without a peel, but while it's still safe, olives and products like that, you know, through irrigation methods, you could actually, you know, promote that.
So how important is agriculture to local governments?
Well, I think it's extremely important. You know, I look at agriculture as a natural way of kind of regulating growth to some extent, as long as the agricultural companies and businesses and families want to stay here locally and continue to grow. They keep a use in our community that helps kind of mold the growth. If you look at East Orange County and the expansive areas that the Mormon Ranch has, for example, you know, they farm a lot of that. And on the west side of town, you still have grove operations, blueberry farm operations, and that sort of thing. And as long as it's viable, and we as community partners in local government helping to promote their business, I think it's a win-win for everyone.
One last thought. What do you see as the role for the agricultural industry in Florida in, say, 20 years from now?
Well, I see us continuing to grow the agriculture industry. You know, we're a leader in citrus production, not only for the United States, but around the world as far as fresh juice goes. You know, we've got some great commodities that come out of our region here in the state of Florida. You know, just here in Orange County, you've got, you know, honey production, you've got cattle, you've got, you know, with the pine tree production, you got the foliage capital of the world up in Apopka, and then the citrus industry, which is about 2/3 of the state, from the south up to Central Florida, is a primary producer for juice fruit for around the United States.
Commissioner, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's good to see you.
That's all for our show today. Visit wucftv.org/metro for interactive features, special content, and more. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Diane Trees.